Welcome to NCEFT Live Series, where you get to see, learn, and explore the world of NCEFT through the art staff, the outdoor riding instructors, and therapists. My name is Alondra Ammon. I'm an occupational therapist here at NCEFT, and today we're going to be taking a tour of the property. So this is a pretty big property, and we have a lot to cover, so let's get started. So NCEFT sits on 12 acres of land, beautiful land. So right now we're at the entrance of our beautiful property, and we're going to start from here and head on back. So the first thing we're going to kind of showcase is the first thing you see when you pull into our parking lot, which is the sensory trail and our outdoor arena. So our sensory trail runs along the perimeter of our outdoor arena. It's about 830 feet, believe it or not. So it's a good amount of walking steps, not only for the individual that's on the horse, but then also for the horse and what that gives to the rider. Our sensory trail, we call it a sensory trail because there's so much to see, hear, smell, and the input that you get from the sensory trail as well, because the footing changes from one surface to another and the incline, and so we have a little bit of different environmental stimulus within the environment that helps to kind of create a more enjoyable sensory trail. And one of the special features that we have are our beautiful flower beds that one of our volunteers has created, and we have several actually along the trail. This is just one of her amazing doings. Her name is Michelle Freed, and when I say, I mean, what a perfect last name, Green Thumb, like her flower beds are amazing. She also has one on the trail that is, we call it, the kids and I, we call it the fairy garden, the fairy flower beds, because it has some really cute fairies in it. And then sometimes we'll search for the duckies in the flower beds or the mermaids. So it's really cool. And then sometimes during this, on the sensory trail, we'll take kids off and we'll do other activities along the trail as well. So it's very interactive, and we like to keep it that way. Over here, you'll see one of our newest kind of addition to the trail, which is a really cool ball feature. And from an OT perspective, you know, I have a lot of things that come to mind and how we can use this, but then also working on stretching out, counting numbers, recognizing the colors, being able to reach, and it's just a lot of fun ways to kind of interact incorporate different activities along the trail. So fun stuff, fun stuff. And like I said, the sensory trail goes around the outdoor arena, and 830 feet. We can start either direction, so this way or that way. So it's pretty cool. Let's see, there's some other fun stuff. Oh, it's further back here. Every summer, we have a camp for some of our patients and riders, and they're able to bring their siblings, and they're paired up with sort of like a peer, volunteer. And here's kind of a little project that they did. They worked on. It's really cool. So we love to decorate our facility with things that volunteers have done, and also our clients, and it really makes them feel as part of the NCEFT family. I have one rider that actually did one of these tiles, and whenever we walk past it, they're like, "That's mine! I did that!" And so it's pretty cool to see their artwork on our property. All right, let's walk on over. Our outdoor arena is primarily used to work our horses, get them ready for their sessions, get that energy out in a healthy way. Our horse handlers do a great job at doing that with our horses. And so sometimes our property will host events and seminars, and so they have the opportunity of using it out here. So, okay, let's pause before I keep going. Does anybody have any questions thus far? I'll wait. If not, we'll keep going because we have a lot of area to cover.
How come it's not so dusty in there?
How come it's not so dusty? Sprinkler systems that go on regularly during the day to help keep the dust down. And that's really important, especially for some of our clients and patients, because, you know, allergies could be a big thing. And so it's really nice, you know, if that's the case in there, and that's also the case in the indoor arena. So it's pretty cool.
Camera person.
Oh, I forgot to introduce my amazing camera person. It's Chris. You may have seen her last week during our, earlier this week during the live series. Chris did a nice little intro and history on the world of NCEFT. Say hi, Chris.
Hi, Chris.
Okay.
Oh, no, I'm not turning on myself.
Okay, let's go. Let's go into the indoor arena. We're all, well, not all, but some more of the magic happens, I should say. So I think the amazing thing about our property is that because it's so big and we have different setups, that we are able to maximize the space. And so we're not restricted to one area. We might be a little bit restricted when it's a bad day or the weather's crazy, and then we'll have to stay in the covered arena. But for the most part, we're able to come out, stay in, talk. Okay, so our indoor arena is what allows us to have services pretty much all year round, rain or shine. The only time we ever really cancel sessions is if the weather is extremely bad, as far as like really gusty winds or very, very heavy downpours, or rare things like the fires and the air quality is poor or something like that. But other than that, our indoor arena really shelters us, and we are able to have sessions rain or shine. So it's another cool thing. Our indoor arena is about, what, 180 feet long by 75. So it's a pretty good amount of space. The cool thing about our arena is that we get to set it up however we want. Oh. So as a therapist, I can put up some poles, I can use barrels, I can lay puzzles along the rail, I can put stuff in a mailbox, we can shoot basketball. So, you know, it's really important to kind of know that therapy is very specific to therapeutic benefits, and adaptive riding is more learning about horsemanship skills. And the arena allows us to have multiple sessions at once. So we can have an adaptive riding session going on, and we can have a therapeutic session going on at the same time. And we all use kind of like the setup. So if adaptive riding, Heather, our adaptive riding instructor, does amazing setups, and she'll put ground poles down and barrels, and I love to use that and incorporate it into my sessions. Yeah.
There's a question.
Yeah, what's the question?
What is adaptive riding?
Oh, adaptive riding is learning about horsemanship skills, but it's adapted to meet the needs of that specific individual. So some of our riders that we work with are individuals that have spinal cord injuries, or, you know, cerebral palsy or autism or other different diagnoses that are able to learn about horsemanship skills. It just has to be modified in a way to meet their needs. So yeah, good question. I like it. Over here we have our viewing area. So parents, families, caregivers, they're able to come and see the session if they want. We also have our indoor mounting area. So over here, so we have the option of mounting a rider or a patient inside the arena, which requires more work because the distance from the ground onto the horse is a little bit higher up. Or we can also mount them at the mounting ramp. So the cool thing about our mounting ramp is that it's a shorter distance from the ground to the horse, and also we don't have it up right now, but we also use a Hoyer lift, which is an electrical lift for individuals that aren't able to transfer onto their horse or need a little bit more support. And so we don't we don't discriminate as far as like physical capacity to get on the horse. We have ways around that, and that's why the NCEFT, we're all about really being inclusive and adapting and modifying so that people can participate in an activity that, you know, other people can. It's pretty cool.
It's a question.
Yeah.
Do you ever allow parents to be part of the session?
Do we ever allow parents to be part of the session? Not sessions where the individual is on the horse. It can be a little bit distracting, and sometimes our horses, they get a little spooky, and so, but there are ways that we can kind of incorporate our parents if they want to do something or say something. Sometimes I'll even have the horse come all the way up to the viewing area and say hi to the parents or families and caregivers. But because we're working with a live animal and they're animals of prey, so they kind of get a little spooky. It just depends on the sense that the parent wants to participate. But we always welcome any suggestions. It's pretty cool. Another question. Okay, let's keep going. All right, so here is where our wash rack, where we get the horses ready. They get tacked up, groomed, bathed if they have to be. We have our helmet area that's all, you know, covered up right now. But the horses know kind of when they're going into that wash rack, it's either grooming time or time to work. So it's cool to have that designated space for there. We can have 3 horses there at a time. And on a hot day like this, I definitely don't mind getting a little bit of water on me. Here we have our beautiful barn that Chris introduced last week, on Tuesday, sorry. And we'll show the front of the barn so we can head over to the indoor clinic. So NCEFT not only offers sessions in the arena and outside, but we also have the option and opportunity to provide indoor therapy sessions. So we can always change out or incorporate or just see people individually in the clinic as well, which is really cool because some people want to do outpatient OT, PT, or speech, but you know, why not do it in a facility where when you're walking into the clinic, you might walk past the horse. I mean, that's my kind of outpatient, I'm just saying. So here we have the front of NCEFT. Here you'll find like the reception area, the receptionist, development, therapy staff. And over here is where we have our indoor clinic. Let's go check it out really quick. So let me fall, Chris. All right, so our indoor clinic, as I was saying, is a pretty cool space. It's a little echoey in here, but it's a pretty cool space because it was just remodeled. And I just love, like I said, having the option and the opportunity to see individuals that can't necessarily ride or want outpatient services within the environment. We still, like, you can still look out of the window and see horses walking by, and you can still, after your session, interact with them. It's just another cool feature and service that we're able to offer. And in our clinic, we can have PT, speech, occupational therapy, and we get to just kind of play around and set it up however we want. You know, we have our classic OT outpatient gym with the swings and boards and all of that fun stuff, or we have, you know, table activities. Physical therapy is able to do some of their gross motor and walking and all of their specialized care and speech therapy as well. Another thing that we use the clinic for is for evaluations. And so in order to receive medical service, which OT, PT, or speech, you have to go through an evaluation. And so we would start in here and then transition outside. So yeah, the little baby clinic. All right, let's go. I think we should go through the barn, right?
I have a question.
Yeah.
If you had to choose, would you prefer indoor or outdoor?
That's a hard question because I like both and I can't do one over the other. Like I can't pick one or the other. Like I would go crazy if it was only out inside, and I would go crazy if it, actually no, I lie, outside. outside because we can always do regular sessions outside in a covered area. So if I had to choose, I would say outside. Yeah. And plus the air, nature, sounds, smells, it's just more of a sensory rich environment from an OT perspective anyways. But there are times where this environment can be a little bit overwhelming for some individuals. And so then I would, weigh out the pros and cons of being outside and maybe see them in the clinic. So either or, but I'm leaning more towards outside. Okay. So we're gonna go through the barn and let's go meet some horses, shall we? I know you guys are curious, like, this is NCFT, where are all the babies at? So the barn, actually Marty is going to be doing a great presentation next week, Tuesday. So make sure you tune in on the barn, giving a barn tour and kind of the behind the scenes of what the barn staff do. So in the barn here, this is kind of where the horses get prepared, or it's almost like a holding area for the horses that are about to go out into their sessions. So they don't live here. It's just kind of like a prep stop or a little stop shop where they get ready and then they go back out there or get ready to go back up top to their home. So let's go check out where they live, shall we? Yes. Barn staff. We have, you'll meet all of them at some point, I'm sure, but Marty is our barn manager, barn and facilities manager, Daryl, Whitney, Skylar, Matt, such a great team. And they take such a good job and great care of I call them our babies. Okay, so I know some of you guys are wondering, what happens with all the poop? Like, your property seems pretty clean. Like, where's all the poop? Here's all the poop. So whenever you see some of these green bins, they're kind of our little poop dump. We have a nice recycling company that takes care of that and composts and doesn't go to waste, right? So another great thing about our the property, like I said, is we can maximize our space. And so we don't only stay in the indoor arena or go around the sensory trail. We also have the option of coming around the barn and going up. So this also provides different input. Oh, someone's saying hi. They hear us coming. So the ground here is going to provide different input to the rider. The incline is going to provide different input to the rider. So we really, really try to maximize our property in the space here because we can. So, and like I said, they're getting all of that external environment input as well. So what they're seeing, what they're hearing, what they're smelling, may or may not be smelling. All right. Yeah.
Somebody had a question. We don't use the poop for fertilizer?
Oh, we don't, but I think it does eventually get used for fertilizer and composting. So we have our lovely company that helps us with that. Can you imagine how much poo we would have to get rid of so that people could use it for fertilizer? Come on down and help take it off of our hands. So let's show some of our babies. We'll do it really quick. So you have Lyric. Oh no, she's waiting for dinner. It's about that time. All right, well, here she is. Hi, Mommy. She says, hey guys, do you want to let me out? Sorry, Lyric, not yet. All right, over here we have Honey. And she's ready to eat too. These guys have an internal clock and they know when it's time to eat. Hi,
Oh,
Honey.
she's going to add to our poop.
Oh, you know what? And this is why we the poop recycling bin. It wouldn't be live if stuff like that didn't happen. Let's meet our new addition to the herd, shall we? Oh, here comes Honey. So as Chris mentioned, on Tuesday, we have a new addition, and her name is Aldi. And she's a Norwegian fjord, and she's my baby. she's eating. Everybody's eating. So they're focused right now. But she is going to be ready once we start sessions. And I'm excited to have her working with us. She's so cute. I forget how old she is. Do you remember, Chris? I feel like she's like 9.
Yeah, somewhere in there.
Here we have Ned. He's our halflinger. Beautiful boy. He almost rides. I call him, it's almost like being on a lazy boy when you're on Ned because he's so wide and his barrel is so big. But he doesn't have a lot of like excessive movements. He just has a lot of deep movements when he's walking. It's almost like he's stomping, but it still feels like a smooth, comfortable ride. It's pretty cool. And here we have Checkers. Hi, Checkers. He's focused. He's focused. What are you doing, Chris? Where you going? Hi, Checkers. You want to say hi? Yeah. Okay. I want to show you guys one more thing, and then we'll be out.
Somebody might have a question,
Yeah.
but all I see is a hand up. Oh. What is Checkers' ride like?
Ooh, Checkers, he's a lot less deep input with his steps. He's actually a little more, I would say a little more fluid. He has shorter, let's see, how would I describe Checkers' steps? Gosh, I haven't been on him in so long. Chris, how would you describe his steps, his movement?
Larger than Ned's. I kind of had them scaled up
Mm-hmm.
a little bit
More
sharper,
than Honey. And
right?
He is sharper.
Even though Ned's deep, it's softer.
Yeah.
So it's a little sharper and a little bit more active. So it takes more balance.
Yep.
Because he's narrow.
He does require more work because he is narrow in his conformation. In his build.
And then somebody also asked, I think, when do you decide to go on a trail ride?
Ooh, a trail ride. That's up to your instructor or your therapist. So it depends on what I'm trying to accomplish for that session. There's always room to go on a trail ride. Sometimes we'll finish up or start that way, depending on what it is that I'm trying to accomplish with the patient. For adaptive riding instructor, their agenda might be a little bit different. And so the instructor or the therapist kind of picks and choose what they want to work on for the day. And then we'll go from there. Some kids are like, trail ride. I want to go on a trail ride today. And I'm like, all right, you want to go on a trail ride? Let's get some stuff done. Another new addition that we have on the property is our new round pin, which Marty will probably show you guys a little bit more in detail. But it's right up in this area. It's amazing. I feel like the footing is almost like white sand. It's not, but it's really pretty and special. And then we also have our hot walker to kind of get our horses, worked out a little bit more if they don't have sessions, but we want to make sure that they're getting their exercise. We have that available as well.
What do you do in the round pen?
In the round pen, it's kind of like the same thing, lunging, exercising, training. I don't use it, but it's more of the horse handlers and trainers that would be using the round pen.
They may also use the round pen for mental health programs.
Yeah, and like I said, we love to maximize the space that we have on this property. And so we don't limit services to one area. So we, at one point, are going to be offering mental health services that we can use the round pin for, or we also have a pavilion up top, and we can offer, I'm going to be running a social skills program, and I plan on being outside and using the pavilion. So we really try to maximize the space out here.
Do we know when the social skills program will start?
Hopefully, the social skills program will start once all of this kind of, shelter in place and it's safe to kind of get kids in closer proximity, but hopefully this summer. Fingers crossed. Fingers crossed. All right. So thank you all for joining us during this NCEFT Live Series. We're going to have another one next week, Tuesday, as I mentioned, where Marty will be giving a tour of from a barn perspective. So it's going to be really cool. You get to see what they eat and other stuff. And on Friday, we will be doing our live series on Tuesdays and Fridays. So put it on your calendars. Every Tuesday, it will probably be at 3:30. And Fridays, this Friday, today is at 3:30. Next week, it will be
10.
in the morning at 10. So if you're available, join our live. Thank you so much for joining. NCEFT Strong. Take care, be safe, and stay healthy. Bye.